She's still just as bitter as ever. There's such a great new spin of complaints here. Here's one from her most recent episode, which still on YouTube, she's got 200,000 subscribers. It's really amazing that now she's been doing this for how many episodes? She's been literally on every podcast of the left wing promoting it. And that's still all she's managed to get. Here she is.
I couldn't make it on my own, so I needed to take opportunities from someone more deserving. You know, this is how arrogant Joy Reid and Ketanji Brown Jackson and Michelle Obama and Sheila Jackson Lee are. They're so narcissistic, they think this is
This was supposed to stay hidden, but Megyn Kelly and Charlie Kirk just turned Michelle Obama's peaceful afternoon into a full-scale media disaster broadcasted live for everyone to see 1 minute. Michelle was basking in the glow of public praise the next. It all flipped with verbal chaos and political contradictions flying across the screen. You would be shocked at what Charlie had to say about Michelle's legacy and Megyn's sarcasm. Was turned up to the highest setting, from brutal comments to embarrassing facts. This was not. It's just another critique. It was a public roasting on a grand stage in the internet. Exploded with reactions because it only got worse from there.
Diary of a CEO. It's kind of rings a bell like a founder kind of situation. And once again, wants you to know how awful it is to be married with children.
There are just many natural reasons why marriage, infertility, trying to have kids makes things difficult. It's like I try to tell couples, of course it's hard. Just listen to what I said, right? Like, it's probably, if you're having some issues in your marriage, it's not you, it's the process of marriage.
Michelle Obama says, until recently, I've mourned the dimming of that hope. And maybe you've experienced the same feelings. Is that a pit in my stomach? A palpable sense of dread about the future? Now, look, Michelle Obama has well-documented anxiety problems. And it's very interesting. When they are not in control of political power,
Michelle Obama once talked about rising above negativity, then used the perfect moment to launch a podcast, write more books, and plaster her face all over store. Shelves like a Black Friday sale in the self-promotion section, because if there is anything more predictable than another Kardashian transformation, it is Michelle acting like she has not been planning a political future since 2017, while avoiding the obvious and skipping the vote for Michelle's slogan on her yoga mat.
She never says anything positive. It is all complaints. So she goes on another podcast. She's promoting her show, so she's making the rounds. The Diary of a CEO podcast, and actually found a way to bitch and moan about how hard it is to live in the White House.
When you walk through a storm, keep your head held high.
Somewhere in the noisy digital world, Megyn Kelly was sharpening her biting humor like a sword, while Charlie Kirk was being his usual self, looking like a confused political intern and talking like he memorized a political video in one sitting.
Michelle Obama, listen to this.
And at this phase of my life, I'm in therapy right now because I'm transitioning. You know, I'm 60 years old. I've finished a really hard thing in my life with my family intact. I'm an empty nester. My girls are in, they've been launched. And now for the first time, as I've said before, every choice that I'm making is completely mine. I now don't have the excuse of, well, my kids need this or my husband needs that or the country needs that. So how do I think about this next phase?
Once again, speaking a reference to her time as First Lady negatively, and I'm transitioning. I mean, an interesting choice of words, given how the internet...
Michelle Obama says she is not campaigning for office, but somehow she is doing sold-out tours, filming documentaries, launching Netflix programs, and releasing books with titles like The Light We Carry, which proves subtlety no longer exists. She smiles in public like royalty making a comeback, while claiming she is just a regular citizen. That is as believable as calling Beyoncé a small-time singer from Houston.
When they are not in control of political power, they get anxiety. And being at the DNC, this for them is church. For them, this was a religious experience.
Till recently, I have mourned the dimming of that hope. And maybe you've experienced the same feelings, that deep pit in my stomach, a palpable sense of dread about the future.
It's so dark. And now she's saying, now I have hope because of Kamala Harris. The apocalyptic undertones of the Democrat Party.
Megyn wasted no time. She came in swinging like someone who had waited years for Michelle's carefully crafted public image to break. It was easy to do, considering the Obamas spent 2 terms convincing people that fancy green school menus and dance routines were the foundation of national success. Remember when Michelle transformed school cafeterias into health prisons? Kids went from pizza day celebrations to suffering through kale salads within weeks. Childhood was ruined with one government rule and a single stick of celery.
Listen to her talking about her 8 years in the White House. SOT 27.
So I'm at this stage in life where I have to define my life on my terms for the first time. So what are those terms? And going to therapy just to work all that out. Like, what happened that 8 years that we were in the White House? What did that do to me?
Yes.
Internally, my soul, we made it through. We got out alive. I hope we made the country proud. My girls, thank God, are whole. But what happened to me?
Oh my God. The utter privilege and how out of touch.
Charlie Kirk, who never misses a chance to grab attention, joined the discussion with theories that sounded like they came from a secret lab filled with political conspiracies. According to Charlie, everything Michelle does is part of a bigger strategy. To get the Obamas back into power, he claims every outfit, every speech, and every podcast. Episode is a trial run for her return to politics, and honestly, he could be right, Michelle. Keeps saying she avoids politics, yet takes over every media platform like a high-speed influencer. Her biggest success is making people believe. She is too refined for politics while acting like it is her part-time job. She promotes unity on the TPA. Surface but throws quick jabs at her opponents in the same breath. She sells motivation in bulk, turning it into products, podcasts, and streaming deals. Soon enough, we will probably see her launch a candle collection called Hope and Eucalyptus.
Side note on Michelle Obama, can we just note how overrated she is? And like all the hype around Michelle Obama, oh, she's going to run for office. And she's just, I don't want to get into the aesthetics of all of it, but the presentation.
The media never misses a beat. Every time Michelle steps near a microphone, reporters react like it is a historic event. They treat her trips to the store like world peace missions. Meanwhile, if Melania Trump goes outside wearing sunglasses, the media accuses her of causing global problems. Megyn Kelly is not fooled by any of it. She sees Michelle's carefully managed public image as a giant media creation polished to perfection. Michelle claims she has left politics, but her public calendar says something else. Every appearance is like a campaign event. Every interview is a disguised political message, Charlie. Kirk calls it next-level political chess, where Michelle is preparing for a presidential run while acting. Like she is on a self-help tour. As crazy as it sounds, America has seen stranger things happen, like Michelle convincing people that eating Brussels sprouts was cool. For 5 minutes, Michelle took wellness culture and turned it into a giant business. Mixing motivational speeches with celebrity influence and cashing in on it, Megyn notices how people eat to feel better, while Michelle makes money turning those feelings into brand deals.
Them together, I haven't even counted her husband's riches. They're definitely billionaires by now. The house in Martha's Vineyard, which is, I think, $20 million out on the yachts of David. What happened to me? Why doesn't anyone think about what happened to me during my... I'm enraged. I'm almost speechless at how ridiculous.
Megyn Kelly has seen this before, and she refuses to be part of it. She is the first to point out the obvious, that Michelle's public image is a carefully designed marketing project supported by stylists, writers, and publicists. Michelle's story has been stretched across multiple books because apparently one was not enough. Soon we might see sequels like Becoming More and Becoming Everything America. Needs all bundled with candles, meditation apps, and guided recordings Megyn focuses on. The truth that you cannot preach modesty while getting paid $500,000 for speaking at events. Michelle pretends to be relatable while living like a superstar. Her entire routine involves smiling. It's hugging kids, saying hopeful words, and disappearing in a cloud of pre-planned positivity. The American public always loves a famous figure, especially one who pretends to be down to earth. Michelle is not just famous, she is a master of playing humble while being celebrated everywhere.
which is like these rich and powerful people who are totally unaware of how people perceive them and how great their lives are and how little they should be complaining, period, never mind publicly. Which leads me to Michelle Obama. Every day she's dropped another negativity bomb on us, whether on her
Charlie Kirk shouts like a guy who was left out of a big celebration. He keeps telling people that Michelle is hiding political plans inside her podcasts and speeches, and honestly, he has a point. Michelle influences public opinion more from the sidelines than most people do while in office. She enjoys power without the stress of elections and applause without tough questions. Just look at her entertainment deals. Michelle's true talent is talking for nearly an hour and leaving audiences clapping without actually saying anything meaningful. She is like a greeting card packed with fancy phrases. People walk away feeling happy and confused while also spending money on merchandise. Megyn has worked in media long enough to know when someone is selling a brand disguised as leadership. She sees the sales pitch behind every speech, every book, every public appearance. By the time 2026 comes, we might see the Michelle method on streaming platforms, produced by Hollywood stars and narrated by famous voices.
The time, and she's complaining. Right, again, I'm not trying to look at people's looks. That's not what I'm doing. I'm just saying the whole aura of it, to use a Gen Z term, is terrible. It's negative. It's just kind of her lament.
Even with all of this, Michelle keeps claiming she is just being herself. That is like saying pandas accidentally look cute. This woman is so perfectly organized, she makes celebrity lifestyle bloggers seem random. Every post, every event, every public smile is part of a larger strategy. Meanwhile, Charlie Kirk connects every dot like he is drawing political maps on restaurant napkins. He would probably accuse her yoga trainer of being a political advisor. The media treats Michelle like royalty, giving her endless praise and applause. Every time she speaks, people act like she saved the world in one afternoon. But if she says anything, political reporters pretend to be shocked like she broke some rule by having an opinion.
both have planes, and she's mad that you have to pay the cost of an airline ticket for the daughters to fly on them.
I wonder, I mean, seriously, she's a smart woman.
But she's aggrieved. She is immersed in a powerful and inescapable sense of grievance.
Megyn Kelly watches all of this with disbelief, calling out the fake modesty with ease. She knows the Obama brand is not accidental, but a perfectly built operation with every detail managed. Michelle's outfits alone cause waves of media attention, sparking debates and online trends. Meanwhile, Megyn's choices get mocked on television. The double standards are impossible to ignore. Charlie Kirk keeps trying to explain that Michelle is more than a former first lady. She is a political figure. Hiding behind positive messaging, her denial of political plans is one of the biggest lies in modern politics. And somehow, the public keeps believing it. Michelle stays above political debates while shaping opinions with stylish speeches and polished media appearances. Charlie keeps pointing it out, hoping people finally realize the connection between sold-out book tours and political influence.
She's angry and unhappy. I've watched enough of her over the years, and then with this ridiculous podcast she's trying to launch, to see she's a deeply unhappy person.
She's obviously, there's problems with her daughters and all that. I don't want to get into that. But we built up on the right. Michelle Obama is going to be the hardest person ever to run against, and her book sold so many copies. And my goodness, you want to talk about the most overrated political hype of a generation? It would go to Michelle Obama.
Megyn Kelly watches it all unfold quietly, making her remarks from the sidelines. She knows every quote, every appearance, and every interview is part of a larger plan. Michelle may not have declared anything about future elections, but her actions tell a different story. She claims to be avoiding politics while building a huge public following. The evidence speaks louder than any interview. As Michelle continues her public appearances packaged in hope and happiness, the rest of us watch her turn a media campaign into a silent political movement. Megyn sees the pattern. Charlie calls it out loudly, and yet Michelle keeps smiling, selling, and soaring without saying a single word about her next political move. But if public influence counted as votes, Michelle would already be president.